So the first thing you should consider is the size of the field you have available to train on those days. Let's say you have the same size available all day, every day, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, same space. So what should you have in mind when designing the first training session of the week, Monday training session? I'd say first, start with a talk. Talk about the game, okay? Feedback to your players about the game. Feedback, I would recommend you do feedback after every session. Every session, at the end, sit your players down in a circle and talk to them whatever happened from the minute 1 to the minute final in the session, and whatever they worked on. Go again through all the concepts that you've learned. Every time you stop training, review those situations with them. Hey, I stopped the training 3 times on that exercise. What did I teach you? What was the main concept on that exercise? How to execute that main concept? Why is that concept important? How is that concept transferred to the game? Ask your players all of that, even if they are 7-year-olds, 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds. Ask them that. The more information they have about the game, the more sense their decisions are going to make. Okay. So again, the first session of the week, let's say Monday, you're going to start with a feedback. Talk about the game. Okay. Analyze the game with them. How to analyze the game. What are you working on? What didn't work in the game? Period. You're just relating what you worked on, what worked or not in the game. Period. That's it. You cannot demand from your players anything you haven't trained them on. Don't do that. Okay. So after the talk, you get to conclusions like, okay, so we trained a lot of that, and I saw that didn't happen quite well in the game, so we're gonna work on that. So let's say support from midfielders. Support from midfielders were very poor. Your team could only maintain possession on the wide areas of the field, never on the midfield, and you want to correct that. So I'd say on the first session of the week, you start with you're going to start with a chat. You start with a global exercise that would train a little of that, and then a very real systemic exercise that would simulate the match, so you can reproduce that same concept now working again. Why you're doing that? You're doing that to give them the good stimulus right after the bad stimulus from the match. That's my point of view. Okay, so on the first session, you're going to reproduce exactly what didn't happen in the game that you wanted to happen, and that your players know how to execute. So you're going to reproduce that situation, and you're going to see if now they can do it, but just because you're going to see if they were just overreacting to a game, they were just nervous or anxious or whatever, or they really don't know how to execute the concept and they still have doubts. So you're going to differentiate one from the other. On the second session of the week, let's say Wednesday, now you're going to work on, probably there's not only one thing not working in your team, right? We're not perfect coaches. No one is perfect, neither Guardiola or whatever. He always have to reshape his team's behaviors. And it's not only one concept, there are more concepts. So on Wednesday, you can work on the satellite concepts that will help this major concept that you saw is not working to work. So for example, movements, support from the midfields, right? From the midfielders. Okay, so I'm gonna work a little on third man. I'm gonna work a little on rondos with someone in the middle. I'm gonna work a little on width and depth to bring back possession in the middle. I'm gonna work on maintaining possession in very populated spaces, and so on. So that's basically what you have to think about. How to reproduce that concept that you see is a big failure from your team, in a way that you can decrypt that concept in different exercises, in different micro concepts that are going to support that big concept. I think you should do that on Wednesday. And on the third session of the week, on Friday, I think you should wrap it up. That means go back to the exact concept you want to work on, and then Just a little bit, not too much, because they've been on that concept for 2 days in a row, and 2 days in a row with global or systemic exercises with a concept is a lot of time. If you don't think so, you're not doing it right. It is a lot of time. You can shape players' behavior very well in 2 sessions. Um, so in the third exercise, in the third session of the week, I would just do some trainings that would just connect them to the game. Maybe you just analyze the opposite team you're going to face that weekend, and you prepare your team to face them based on the concepts you've trained this week, and how the concept you trained this week is very important against that team, and what else does that team do to avoid your team from playing, to avoid your team from executing their own ideas, right? So basically, that's how I plan my weeks, based on a 3-session schedule.
Thank you for watching. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, check my other videos on the same channel, the Soccer Excellence Mentor. Lots of free content for you as a soccer coach, as a soccer player, as a soccer club. Follow me on Instagram, on Facebook, the Soccer Excellence Mentor, and let's all drive our performance towards excellence.